back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. We are coming to you from the backyard. So I thought since we were talking burnout, it may not be a bad idea to come to you guys from the place where I go when I'm feeling particularly burnt out. My backyard is a mess. Landscaping is on the very long list of things we still have to do to the house, but it's quiet. It's surrounded by trees, and my dogs are usually out here hanging out. There's one running around over there now. And so this is, especially in the summer months and especially in nice weather like this is really where I come to just kind of decompress. This is where, soak up that vitamin D, walk away from the computer, walk away from the phone, and just take a few minutes to try to just relax. So thought it would be appropriate to come to you from this space, and maybe the dogs will make an appearance. I don't know, they're running around. There's a couple not too far away. We'll see how it goes. So one of the things, I kicked off this idea this week, and for those that saw the earlier LinkedIn post, I shared with y'all a kind of an interesting data point. Over the weekend, came in Monday, got to work Monday, and thought, okay, let me clean up my LinkedIn inbox. Like, it's a mess. I have so many unread messages, so many connection requests I need to get through. And so I started going through and trying to kind of get caught up on at least the recent ones. And I had actually stopped counting at 17. I had 17 requests specifically asking for 15 minutes of my time to get on a phone call. I don't know if the 15-minute call is like the new sales tactic. I'm not sure. It was kind of interesting. There were so many specifically asking for 15 minutes. It was kind of an interesting, another little data point for what it's worth. But as I'm reading these and trying to kind of do the math in my head, and like, okay, what does that actually mean? That's over 4 hours. It's like 4 hours and 25 minutes or something like that. And I just thought, that's 10% of a work week, assuming you're fortunate enough to only work 40 hours a week. And who's doing that right now since we live at work? So it was interesting. And I, of course, went through the whole, feeling terrible because I can't possibly take all those calls and trying to, decide who to say no to, who to ignore. I think a lot of recruiters and probably a lot of professionals struggle with this because we want to help and we want to be there for everybody and we want to do all the things. And it really got me thinking about the recruiter's hierarchy of needs. And so bear with me, because I think this is something that y'all can apply to your own lives and think about your own job, your own situation, whether you're working outside the house, whether you have a paid job, or maybe you're taking care of family, or whatever, you're looking for a job, any of those scenarios. I really think that this can fit. So I want to walk you through the same exercise I walked myself through and realized what burnout looks like for me and hopefully how to address it. So I brought my whiteboard because of course I did. But I want to show you, I'm a visual person, so I want to actually kind of draw it out and show you guys what I came up with. And hopefully you'll be able to do this on your own as well. So for me, thinking about the hierarchy of needs, right? And so we're all familiar with that pyramid. I think like at the very bottom is like food, shelter, and water. And then it gets, up to the top. It's like, I don't know, I think Wi-Fi is in there somewhere. The modern day version, right? So hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But I came up with this as the recruiter's hierarchy of needs, and certainly something, at least for me, this is maybe only my pyramid, but it was really interesting. I kind of learned a lot about myself going through this exercise. So if I think about that bottom of the pyramid, the most important thing, the number one thing that has to be okay in my life, it starts with me. It starts with, and bear with me, I don't mean this in like an egotistical, narcissistic kind of way. I mean, the foundation is me, my family, my dogs, my home, the food and shelter of my professional life, right? So it's making sure that everybody's good. making sure my relationships are strong, my kids are happy, I got a couple bucks in the bank, whatever it is, I need to be okay. I can't build on that, or at least not very well, until I get mostly good here on the bottom of the pyramid. You know, my physical health should be relatively in order. I should eat vegetables more, whatever it looks like. But getting this okay, or as close to good as possible, is key for the next layer of the pyramid, right? And so for me, what happens next? I mean, if I'm talking about my professional persona and who I am as a recruiter, for me, it's going to be my clients. Okay, and so what that looks like for me is hiring managers. So these are the leaders that I'm partnering with that have open positions. They're the ones that are reviewing the resumes I send them. They're the ones that I'm strategizing on sourcing with. They're the ones I'm closing candidates for. So it revolves that next layer of professional kind of accountability and happiness happens with them. It happens here where, you know, I need to make sure you're good. I need to make sure you're happy with my output and with our partnership. So that's the second layer. So then after that, and this is where I'm going to lose a few people, because I guarantee there are going to be naysayers who say I have this backwards. Candidates. Yes, in Amy's hierarchy of recruiting needs, candidates, believe it or not, come after the hiring authorities. Let me tell you why, okay? If I don't have the trust, if I don't have the relationships, the partnerships, the agreements, whatever it is in place to provide a great candidate experience, I'm useless to you. I could have all the candidates in the world in my back pocket, ready to go on an interview, ready to accept an offer at a moment's notice. If I'm not able to make those opportunities here, and I don't know what my clients want, I don't know what we're interviewing for, things like that, I will be completely useless to you up here. So you can kind of see this professional pyramid building where I need to be good. You know, I need to not have like immediate stressors like, where am I gonna live? How am I gonna eat? Whatever it may be. I need to be able to really dive into, okay, this is my job. This is the effort that's required of me. These are the relationships I have to build, the work I have to put out. And then I can satisfy the candidates, whereas, hey, I've got real bona fide opportunities for you. Hey, I can actually get you an offer. Hey, I can help you prepare for an interview, right? So it's just every layer builds on the next. And so after I got work squared away and I'm doing okay and I got my candidates, you know, getting offers and we're making stuff happen, things are good, then there is the next layer. For me, that looks like my peers. So this is where, these are the speaking engagements that I do, right? So speaking at recruiting conferences, writing blogs for my industry, connecting with and networking with people from other companies, recruiters from other companies, the various kinds of engagement that are very industry specific. And so a lot of the commentary you might see from me on Twitter, for example, is with other recruiters, and certainly on Facebook, I'm involved in a lot of recruiting groups, things like that. So if I have this other stuff doing okay and kind of in a good, you know, everything's kind of marching along, I have more to offer here. I'm actually going to be useful to my peers. I'm going to have something to offer them. I'm going to be able to mentor baby recruiters if I have the bottom of the pyramid functioning well, okay? And then the final step in my personal happiness pyramid is going to be what I'm going to call the job seeking community. All right. So if you're watching this, a lot of you might be at the top of my pyramid. Okay. You might be a job seeker who follows me or watches these videos for interviewing advice. You might be somebody who's looking for a job and maybe you want to be one of my candidates, right? If you're in the industry I recruit for. But basically the idea here is this is where a lot of you are going to see me. These are the LinkedIn posts. These are the weekly AMA Friday videos like this one. This is where I get to build on the foundation of all the stuff that's come before, on the work that I'm doing with my clients, on the candidates that I'm engaging with and helping move through the process, on the peers that I'm working with and learning from, as well as teaching every day. And finally, I get to package all that up and share it back with you guys. And I get a lot of emotional payoff from that, because I love hearing your success stories, and I love, you know, getting those emails back like, hey, I tried your template and this is what happened, or hey, I used this thing I learned from that video and I got that result. That inspires me. Okay. And I'm not saying that to get all like woo woo on you guys, but I mean, that really is what motivates me to make the next video and the next video and the next video. But going back to burnout, I got to tell you, this is what I've learned from doing this exercise. If I'm stressed out, not feeling well, overloaded, overwhelmed, had a bad day, any number of things that is impacting anywhere in this pyramid, it can cause the whole thing to fall. Okay, if I'm spending way too much effort and energy up here and churning out content and churning out, you know, videos and doing all of this training and engagement and coaching sessions and all this kind of stuff that I love so much, if I spend too much time up here, I'm not feeding and watering the stuff down here. And so this starts to buckle, and then it starts to collapse. And that's where we find ourselves burning out. That's where we get into this horrific cycle of trying to keep every plate spinning and trying to satisfy every need and trying to answer every question and trying to take every call. And we can't do it, y'all. None of us can. Okay? So by determining, this is almost an order of importance, right? I know I need to focus on my own personal health, sanity, safety, mental well-being. I got to get that right, or I'm no good to anybody else. I got to make sure my clients are happy. That's what pays the bills, y'all. Okay. That's what allows me to bring you this free content, because I'm making a paycheck somewhere else. Okay. So I got to make sure they're happy, and so on. And so the pyramid is built by just adding one more layer on top of the one before. So by doing this exercise and really digging into where am I falling short, where am I stressed out, where am I screwing up, I was able to actually sit back and say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to answer all these emails, and that's okay, because I know where I need to focus on the pyramid, and I know what enables me to do each next step. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Okay, this is probably the weirdest video you're going to see on the channel, but here is the takeaway. I want to know what your hierarchy of needs is. Okay, I want to offer up 5 coaching sessions. We will do these in the month of September. Now, keep in mind, I am primarily a recruiter/career person. I am probably most valuable to you reviewing your resume and helping you with your job search. But if you are a recruiter and you're interested in a coaching session, just like professionally mentoring kind of call, we can do that too. So I will keep this open for a week. Send an email to amy@recruitinginyogapants.com. Put burnout in the subject line. That's going to get you an auto response. If you like what you see and you want to take this step with me, follow the instructions from there. And what I'll probably do is have to pull names out of a hat. So I'm guessing I might get more than 5. Maybe I won't. You never know. We'll see how this goes. But I would love to offer up that opportunity to spend some one-on-one time with 5 of you. Really dig into where you are in your hierarchy of needs, what's important, and how to recognize the signs of burnout for you and what you can do about it so that none of your pyramids collapse. All right, y'all, I hope that was helpful. This is something I've been thinking about a lot, and I gotta tell you, I feel like I lost 10 pounds just talking about it and creating my own pyramid. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys as well. So amy@recruitinginyogapants.com, burnout in the subject line, all one word, or the autoresponder may not catch it. And we will see you guys next week.